So here we are with however many colors of rectangles we wanted all joined together or changed colors like that with our last rectangle color with 30 rows instead of 15. So what you're going to end up with on the left hand side here is a short end and a long end. Now the short end can be, I like to make it double secure, so I go ahead and create a slip knot, not too tight because it'll pull it all together. It would gather it here if you do it too tight. And then I weave in this end in the back, but you can also just tuck that end in when you sew the sides of these together. But that little knot just gives a little more security, and weaving it in triple security, but you've already woven it in through here, so it's pretty secure with a little knot. So this one, the short end is going to disappear and the long end is going to stay. See how nice and long that one is? Because when we flip this over, when the back side is done, we're going to use it to stitch the two sides together. So once a strip is finished on the back and the front, we will have a long end on the left and a long end on the right. So as I demonstrate how to create the back of your strip, I will show you how to have a long end, which is a lot easier than what we did on the front, a long end on the right hand side to sew these sides together. So we've got our 30 for our last rectangle, and I'm just going to flip everything over this direction. So there's your 30, and there are all your other little squares, the back side with your long and short ends on this side. You could, deal with all your, tying these together and weaving in the small end or tucking the small end. Another reason I like to weave in the small end is because there are so many ends. I just like it to be gone, so that I don't get mixed up on which end I keep and which end I don't. So let's see here. Okay, we've left the two stitches or loops on the hook from this last color on the front. And we're going to grab our next color, which will be your next color, the next colored block, because we're going to crochet another block that's going to be behind this one. So since the end on this one, remember how on the other side you had to fold it over and weave it in? This one we're just going to leave on the right side, so it's much easier. So this one doesn't need to be 16 inches, but maybe just the 12 that I had referred to at the beginning, or however long you think you're going to need to sew along here and the other side. So the short end from the color that you just worked is once again just a little bit longer than the width of this color, of this rectangle. So we'll just grab that yarn, hold it with your finger, and kind of go sideways in that first stitch there. And it doesn't matter if you grab two or one. None of this is going to show because this will all be on the inside. And just pull the yarn through those two loops. So you've gone into the side stitch. I'm going to show that to you one more time. So you've got your yarn here. You still have the two loops on your hook, and you're going sideways in through here, and then yarn over and pull your yarn through that stitch and then your 2 for your first stitch. And it looks like I grabbed a little extra there. It'll look like that. Then insert your hook sideways through that front rectangle and then find your first bump of that new color. So it's right there, and I kind of use my fingernail here. Mine are sort of tight. My stitches are tight, so I kind of use my fingernail to go in there, yarn over, and come through both like that. So you're attaching and creating your first row at the same time. And then to make it even more complicated, you will weave this short end under and over also. And trust me, this really does get, you'll do so many of these that it'll get easier over time. So sideways, like you just would a normal stitch, we'll put that yarn end on top, so over, and find the next little bump. It's right here. Yarn over and pull through the bump and your stitch. Okay, I'll do one more. Sideways. Now I'm going to push that yarn end under. Find your next little bump. Yarn over. Come through the bump. And your stitch. So you've done 4 of them now. This looks just, you can't even tell that you've joined something there. Those 4 are all joined. And I will continue this to the end, and then I will be back to show you how to finish that rectangle.